The Emmys might have said that this show is a great one, but now I'm saying it, so it is serious. Hello and welcome back to the Miscellaneous channel where we do miscellaneous things. I'm Zeleny. I typically cover TV, pop culture, internet trends, and other miscellaneous things on this channel, so subscribe if that's your vibe. So today I wanted to do a little bit more of a casual video, and I just wanted to rave about a show I watched recently. I just watched it and liked it, and I wanted to tell y'all about it in case you haven't heard of it, and also discuss the season 2 finale with y'all. So the show I want to talk about today is called Hacks on HBO Max. Season 2 has been dropping this year in 2022, and the season 2 finale dropped a couple of weeks ago. If you have not watched Hacks, then you're gonna want to watch the first chunk of this video, the first half of this video. But if you're only interested in me discussing the actual plot of season 2, the finale of season 2, theories for season 3, then you can skip to just the discussion of it. And I put timestamps down below and chapters if you want to skip around. If you haven't watched Hacks, I want to answer the question, is Hacks worth watching? And as you can tell, my answer is yes. It's a very solid show. It is a comedy, but like with a little bit of drama, just like every Emmy winning comedy these days. If you were a fan of Broad City or of The Good Place and Parks and Rec, these are a lot of the same writers and creators. Though it is elevated from those shows, it is a lot more cinematic and like high production value. Hacks is a lot more like tight and polished. It has episodes that are more around 30 minutes, so it's an easy show to watch while eating a meal. Season 1 has 9 episodes and season 2 has 8 episodes, I believe. It's about an older legacy comedian lady named Deborah Vance who has a residency in Las Vegas, but her residency is under threat of getting replaced by like a more young and modern type of act. So her manager pairs her with a younger writer who is Gen Z. Her name is Ava, and she is paired with Deborah to help her freshen up her comedy material and also help Ava get something good on her resume for her own comedy writing career. A lot of the show is about their relationship going from pretty like hateful or like argumentative, a difficult relationship, to really bonding and helping out each other and trying to achieve those goals. It's just really funny, and I just want to recommend it genuinely and earnestly to y'all, and I want to discuss it too. I want us to be ready for season 3, which is coming. The show has 100% on Rotten Tomatoes and an 82 and 88 on Metacritic, with season 2 having the higher score of 88. So let me talk a little bit more about Hacks, just some random production details. I think I've already said all of it actually. I should talk about the writers first. So the main writers are Jen Statsky, Paul W. Downs, and Lucia Aniello. Jen Statsky wrote on a lot of Parks and Rec and The Good Place, a lot of The Good Place actually. Paul W. Downs wrote on Broad City and was also in Broad City as an actor, and he's an actor in this one too, so he's a writer and actor in Hacks and Broad City. I could not have said that more confusingly. And then Lucia Aniello, I believe, also worked on Broad City. She also wrote that movie Rough Night. Hacks has won a lot of Emmys, so I'm late to the party on it, that's for sure. I watched all of season 1 and season 2 around Memorial Day of 2022, and I didn't realize as I was watching it that it was still coming out. Like, season 2 was coming out, and I was finishing up season 2 right when the finale was about to drop. So it was just one of those divine timing moments where I was just like, I should watch Hacks because it is an Emmy type of show and I need to watch more critically acclaimed TV. And I just kind of started it on a whim and I liked it. The show stars Jean Smart as Deborah Vance, Hannah Einbinder as Ava, and then Carl Clemons-Hopkins as Marcus, the main supporting actor in this. The comedian that did the viral Hi Gay video with the braids, if you know you know, she is in this and plays a hilarious character. And something I liked about season 1 right away is that it takes place in Las Vegas, which is one of my favorite places to go. Excited to hopefully visit soon again. So I kind of like the spotlight on Vegas a little bit. It's not really shown in media that much, especially in a more like realistic way like this. Season 2 is cool because they get out of Vegas and they're touring the country, so it really opens up the world of Hacks. They go to LA a lot, so season 2 really mixed it up, and I really loved season 2. I think better than season 1, so that was exciting that season 2 kind of held up and kept the momentum going from season 1. There's also been some kind of like high profile cameos in this. Margaret Cho had a cameo in season 2. Laurie Metcalf played a kind of a bigger role in season 2. She played the tour manager. She played the mom in Lady Bird, and she was also in The Dropout recently. So if you don't know Laurie Metcalf, you should. Also, one of my favorite recurring characters in this show is Kiki, who is Deborah's personal blackjack dealer. Deborah is like mega rich, and that is something that's really fun about the show. As much as rich people suck, it's funny to see how much money Deborah has and how she uses it to staff her life. One luxury is having her private personal blackjack dealer played by Kiki, and this character is my absolute favorite on Hacks. She is so funny. I want her in more, and she's played by Poppy Liu. Also, Johnny Sibili is in this, who was on Pose, but you get to see him a lot more in Hacks than in Pose, because in Pose he was ill. So let me just discuss generally season 2. I'm not trying to go episode by episode or anything. I wasn't gonna do a video on this. It was just kind of on the spot, and I was thinking like I just want to talk about Hacks season 2 finale, but not have like a play-by-play of the episodes. There is actually a Hacks podcast that is a companion to season 2 only, not season 1. To be honest, I don't totally recommend the podcast. It's fine. It's all right. I think when they have like bigger guests on the podcast, it's better. Like those episodes were really good. I really loved the Rosie O'Donnell episode. I learned so much about her, and she just had great takes on fame and how she just handled her comedy career. The podcast is the 3 writers and then a special guest every episode. And something weird about it is that they make the special guest the host for the episode and the 3 writers the guests, which is just confusing because on podcasts, the 3 recurring people would be the hosts and the special guest is the special guest. They make the special guest introduce themselves as the host, but then the writers end up interviewing the special guest just like any regular podcast. So it's just kind of a weird format thing with the podcast. But I did enjoy those episodes that were with Rosie O'Donnell, Jean Smart, Wanda Sykes, Margaret Cho. These are women that I think inspire these writers a lot for Deborah Vance's character. So you could tell in those podcast episodes, the writers were like taking notes about what these women were saying about their own careers and their views on fame and comedy and being a woman in comedy, all these things. But other episodes weren't as fruitful. But anyway, so the podcast is there if you're interested. And I liked it in the end. I just had higher expectations for some reason. So anyway, season 2 of Hacks. Let me start with the main characters. Ava's journey is a lot about the email at the end of season 1 that she sent in a drunken high haze to a TV show that was making a show about horrible diva kind of bosses, and Ava provided a lot of anecdotes about Deborah that were really, really bad. She is dealing with the consequences the whole time. In the first few episodes, she confesses to Deborah. Deborah is clearly very sad. She said some really deep, cutting things in the email about like how she's just not a good person, she's not a good mother. Deborah, however, responds with suing Ava for breaking her NDA. Deborah's journey this season is all about her new material and developing it. At the end of season 1, her new material flopped, but she did see the potential in it, and decided to go on the road to test out new material and figure out her new act. By the end of the season, she has it solidified and she is trying to make a comedy special. The key to her comedy and to her new material ends up being that she needs to take accountability for the wrongs she has done in life. She had a lot of trouble parenting DJ, who is a recurring character on the show, and just in general, she sacrificed a lot to put her career first. A lot of the new material they had been workshopping was all about the bad things that had happened to Deborah as a woman coming up in the comedy industry. But Deborah wasn't acknowledging the parts and the mistakes she made, and she realized she needed to make fun of herself and the mistakes she had made, along with the things that had happened to her, to make a funny act. And that's the aha moment towards the end of season 2, which leads her to solidify her comedy special. And then at the end of the season, they tape the comedy special, produce it, and they self-fund it because no networks are interested, because they're still sexist even now. And that's kind of the message. And Deborah ends up self-funding it, selling it on QVC, and selling so much that the networks do fight for the rights in the end and buy the rights for her special. But Deborah had a really great journey. It kind of feels like season 1 and 2, I mean, probably because I watched them back to back, but it does feel like Deborah's journey is from the beginning of season 1 to the end of season 2, and like that's her true full journey. It really reaches closure at the end of season 2, to the point where I watched the season 2 finale and panicked because it felt like a true series finale. It felt like it didn't need more episodes. It's over. There were no loose ends, no cliffhangers like season 1. I looked it up and they did say season 3 will be coming. They're kind of starting fresh with season 3 because Deborah accomplished her goal of having the successful comedy special, reworking her material to be fresh, just finding the success she wanted. Ava gains the experience and with the success of the special, because Ava's the key to helping Deborah realize and make all of these breakthroughs. So Ava now at the end of season 2 has this great thing on her resume. So what happens at the last episode is that Deborah essentially breaks up with Ava because they did both accomplish the goals they set out to accomplish, and Deborah fires Ava and it's like, you're good, you gotta go, move on. And Ava is devastated. And the show ends with Ava watching QVC and getting a call from Jimmy, the manager of both Deborah and Ava. And Jimmy tells her that Deborah even dropped the lawsuit, so she's not going to see her in court anymore. And Ava's almost a little sad that she won't get to see Deborah even in court, because Ava has become so attached to Deborah. This whole thing is very reminiscent of just a romantic breakup. Like Ava, it was the one broken up with. She did not want to leave, and she resisted when she fired her, but there was nothing she can do. And Deborah, you could tell, had pain doing it as well, but knew that it was the right thing for Ava. So that ending was so annoying because I was like, how are you gonna keep going with this? Like, Deborah reached everything she needed to. Ava reached what she needed to. This show reminded me a lot of The Comeback in many ways. If y'all are new here, The Comeback is my favorite show of all time. It kind of feels like a current version of The Comeback, just in exploring similar themes of aging women in Hollywood and how they are treated. There is even overlap with the creators of The Comeback and Hacks, so it's not that surprising that I liked the show. The Comeback season 2 finale is insanely amazing, and the Hack season 2 finale felt similarly like wrapped up and packaged up. So I don't know where Hacks is gonna go. They're gonna have to bring Deborah and Ava back together because they are the show. The relationship is the show, and they got so close, and I'm just so I guess in season 3 it'd be cool if maybe there's a new project, like maybe they're doing a biopic of Deborah Vance's story and Ava can write on it, or Deborah is making a return to a sitcom or some other TV show where Ava can write on it. The writers really wrapped up season 2 so well that like they kind of have a blank slate for season 3. So my prediction is either a biopic or movie that Deborah Vance is doing, or a return to TV for her. So as far as the minor characters go, their journeys through season 2. Marcus, oh, poor Marcus. Marcus, I love him. He's such a sweet character. He's like so comforting. He just has everything taken care of. Marcus is having an identity crisis for a lot of this movie because Deborah goes on tour and he doesn't go on tour with her. Kind of doesn't know what to do with himself. He like gets a puppy but almost kills it. He struggles with his relationship with, what's his name, Wilson? Wilson, yeah. Because he is such a workaholic and doesn't know how to turn off work. And eventually Wilson breaks up with him, or they break up, and he starts seeing someone else. And I felt so annoyed Marcus like let Wilson go like that because they were so cute together. And at the end he talks to Wilson, and I think whenever we get season 3 we'll see more of like what that conversation was and what the result of their friendship or relationship is, because I don't think it's like fully clear at the end. Jimmy, who is the talent manager, he had quite a journey season 2. The poor guy couldn't catch a break. He was trying to deal with his useless assistant Kayla, played by Meg Stalter. Them as a duo are so funny. Kayla is insane. He's trying to get her removed. He goes to human resources, and the lady there is that creepy lady from Euphoria, who I still don't know what she does or why she's evil, but everyone on Twitter says she's shady and evil. She tries to send Jimmy to anger management to help him get reassigned to a new assistant, even though he doesn't have anger management issues. But then it doesn't work out, and Kayla still remains his assistant. He's struggling with his rival talent manager, Janet Sloan, who's always poaching his clients. And then towards the end, he walks away and quits from the firm. They want to reassign Deborah Vance to some old guy manager that doesn't care about the clients, and Jimmy refuses, and he believes in Deborah. And Kayla goes with him, even though Kayla is the daughter of the owner of the talent agency. That's why she has his job at all. So Jimmy is starting up his own talent agency after this with Kayla as his only assistant. In the end, his hero moment is when he saves the taping of the comedy special because the guy next to him has a heart attack in the middle of the show and gets carried out by paramedics. During that, the audience loses interest in Deborah because they're so curious about the guy that had a heart attack. Jimmy goes out behind the guy, sees that he dies outside the theater, comes back in the room, and yells to the whole audience, "He's okay," and claps. And it's just like, the audience automatically claps, and we're right back into the taping. So Jimmy saves the whole taping. It was a cutthroat moment, but I really loved that climax for him. It felt like his moment where he shined and proved why he's a good manager, because even I was getting to the point of like, is this guy even worth being the manager for Deborah and Ava? He is, and that proves it. I think those are our main characters. Shout out to Weed, played by Laurie Metcalf, the obnoxious tour manager lady. She just felt so like nuanced, and like I could see this type of person on a tour bus, like absolutely, even though I've never been on tour. For season 1, Jean Smart won the best lead actress Emmy, which I'm so happy because the nuances of Jean Smart on this show, just like the facial journeys, not even saying a word, are just so beautifully done. Like I kind of could care less about the Ava character, the younger character. Jean Smart's character is just so layered and deep and so good. It is why I watch the show. The show also won Emmys for Outstanding Directing for a Comedy Series and Outstanding Writing for a Comedy Series. It was nominated for a million other things. It also won the Golden Globe for Best TV Musical or Comedy and Best Actress. And I'm hopeful that season 2 will gain some Emmys. I think season 2 was even stronger than season 1, so I think it's deserved. All in all, I'm excited for the trajectory of this show and where it's headed. I don't have a clue where it is headed, and it's probably going to be another year until we find out. but hopefully that gives you some time to catch up on season 1 and 2. It's so worth it. It's such a good show. A lot of like fun pop culture commentary is part of it too. It's a great show depicting like generational divides between like a boomer and a Gen Z. It has some great LGBT characters as part of it, including Ava being a bisexual woman. All in all, a great show, and I just wanted to nerd out about it for a little bit. But if you have watched Hacks, I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think? Who's your favorite character? Mine is definitely Kiki. She is so funny. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed. I put out new videos generally twice a week. Sorry, I've been slipping this summer. It's been a tough season, and I think it's just a time when people are out doing stuff with friends a lot, doing stuff out in the world, and I'm trying to sort of have some experiences, maybe do a little travel. You can follow me at Miscellaneous on Instagram or Twitter to find out about new videos, or just turn on the bell notification here on YouTube. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.